Pakistan, declaring it as sister states. And I myself visited Sacramento and I witnessed the signing ceremony between the two states, that's Punjab province and California state. California is the 5th largest economy in the world. And we made an agreement on 4 points. Number 1, agriculture. Number 2, education. Number 3, IT. And number 4, that's a pilgrimage, because there's a lot of Sikh community living in United States. I think we, the agriculturists, should benefit from their experience. And they are ready to cooperate with us. And they want to cooperate with us. I said once to American friends that your presence is here and the perception is here. You have to win the hearts and minds of people. They agreed with me. They agreed with me, yes, it's true, because they help us when there was earthquake. They also helped us when there were rains. They also helped us when there were floods. They also helped us when we were fighting a war of terrorism and extremism. But they have to win the hearts and minds of people. I went to Australia and I visited the 2nd largest, biggest cotton field in the world, and that was Moray. And only 9 persons were working. We all mechanized. And the host and I stayed with Mr. and Mrs. Harris, who was the owner of that land. I said, what is the cause of your success? They said, very simple. 2% of our produced is spent on research. So we have to spend on research. We don't have to just take the ideas from others or just bring some seeds or others from other places, but we have to spend our 2% of our produce on research. There is my old colleague, Khurshid Shah Saab, mentioned about a global recession. Yes, in 2008, the price of the oil was extremely high. And there was a global recession throughout the world. Everybody was hit. Everybody was affected. And we were affected too. But my government decided to diversify their economy towards agriculture. And despite 2 floods and despite 2 rains, our food basket was full. We used to export cotton. We used to export rice. We used to export sugar cane. And we used to export wheat. And we were giving them, which nobody has mentioned, that the price of the commodities were given at an international price. When we gave a support price at that time, in Ayub Khan's time, General Ayub Khan's time, only few annas were raised for sugarcane. And the slogans were, Chini Chor, Chini Chor. These were the slogans. I was the student. When I was taking over as a Prime Minister of this country, that slogan was Atta Cho, because there was a shortage of atta in the country. And with the support price, we overcame and this problem, and we started exporting our wheat. And in that case, the wheat was smuggled to Afghanistan and beyond, Central Asian republics. But when we gave them the international price, that stopped two things. One, we were sufficient, and secondly, there was no smuggling. There was no smuggling at all. I have heard few of the suggestions from our leaders, cotton leaders sitting here. And one is a very good proposal. That is, when you pick cotton, the sticks of the cotton, they are used for cooking and other things. But when there is no crop, certainly they will cut trees. And by cutting trees, what a loss to the country. I think this is extremely important. Somebody else suggested constitution of an autonomous cotton board. I support the idea. There should be an autonomous cotton board, because as suggested by Khurshid Shah Sahab, that there should be frequent meetings and result-oriented. Not only meetings with no results, but meeting with results. Sport price is extremely important. As I mentioned during our time, our food basket was full. Therefore, sport price is very important. And there's another suggestion that there should be a small loans given to small farmers to encourage them to grow cotton. This will be another feather in the cap if the government does this. Second, there is a complaint, and it's a very, very genuine complaint. Central Cotton Committee, PCC, Research Center, 1,000 employees. For the last 15 months, they are without salaries. I demand from the government that as soon as possible, इन 1500 मुलाजमीन के लिए उनकी तनख्वाहें दी जाए. On the lighter side, I want to tell you one incident. I was sitting with my father, and there was a lady, old lady, she came, and she requested my father that my husband is getting married again. My father called him, and he was a big zemindar, having 100 acres, 100 squares of land. He said, Malik Sahab, are you getting married? And I said, yes. And why? उन्हें सारी कपास कमी चाहिए. मतलब our cotton is in abundance. Therefore, we can afford to marry. Now I'll say something in Saraiki. कि जेड़े वक्त जिमीदार दी फसल चंगी थींदी है कपास खसूस वो पहले अपने बालां दी शादी करें. ये गल दुरुस्त है या नहीं? और इवें ही वो अपनी एक मोटर जरूर खरीद दें, नवी कार, اور کوئی بچ بنے تو آپ شادی کر کے یہ ذمہ داراں دا ریل پھیل دا یہ طریقہ ہے کہ جب ذمہ دار کاشتکار اگر اب وہ خوشحال تھی گیا ملک خوشحال تھی ویسے ملک کے پیسے دی ریل پھیل شروع تھی ویسے اور ایک میں صرف انٹرنیشنل میڈیا واسطے اور کاٹن ورلڈ ڈے واسطے میں ایک چھوٹا جہاں پیپر بنائے تاکہ میں تو دس سکوں. Cotton is the most important cash crop. It's 10% of agricultural GDP and accounts for 60% of the total exports. Pakistan is the fourth largest producing country in the cotton producing country in the world after China, India, and the United States. The maximum size of cotton crop in Pakistan was achieved at 14.8 million bales about a decade back, maybe my time. However, since then, over the last year, the size crop had been gradually dwindling. Last year was the lowest, around 5 million bales. The reason for less production was mainly what I've seen and what I've heard and what the suggestions have come from the experts. The reason for less production mainly from poor quality seed and reduction in area. Main factors cotton production in Pakistan are shifting of crop pattern in cotton zones of Pakistan. Wherever there is a cotton growing area, they have started sugarcane and maize and other commodities. Insect susceptible nature of cotton, vulnerability of pest attacks, lack of knowledge of use of appropriate pesticides and fertilizer application, unpredicted prices in local markets. This year, by grace of Allah, the crop is comparatively better and expected to exceed 10 million bales. Major portion of increase this year percentage terms contributed, especially from Syed and of course Punjab. The efforts put in government of Punjab and the Sindh, they are commendable. I appreciate that they have made this effort of bringing all their team from Punjab, and they have had this seminar arranged for the cotton, which is the best crop in the country and the backbone for the economy. It is need of time to increase area of cotton cultivation and improve the quality of seed. आखिर में मैं तमाम जो मेहमान जो ऑर्गेनाइजर हैं इस तकरीब के, उनका मैं शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ, उनको मैं खिराज तहसीन पेश करता हूँ, उनका मैं मशकूर हूँ कि आपने एक इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड के मुताबिक आज मदीनातुल औलिया में आपने ये एहतमाम किया है. बहुत बहुत मेहरबानी. पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद.
आपसे गुजारिश करूंगा कि 2 मिनट के लिए रुकें. हम अपने पीसीजीए का लोगो चेंज कर रहे हैं, तो उसका भी हम इसी तकरीब में इफ्तिताह करना चाहते हैं. तो ये लोगों को वो करें. From onwards, PCGA will be building this हम चाहेंगे कि हमारे कुछ ग्रोअर्स पीछे आए हुए हैं और उन लोगों को हमने कुछ गिफ्ट देने हैं, तो हम अपने चीफ गेस्ट और गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर साहिबान को तकलीफ देंगे कि वो स्टेज पे आके उनको वो जो पैक्स हैं, गिफ्ट पैक्स, वो दें। तो तमाम हमारे किसान भाई, वर्कर्स, उन सब से गुजारिश है कि पिछली सीटों से आप प्लीज़ आगे आ जाएं और अपने गिफ्ट हैम्पर्स ले लें।